Hi everybody, it's Julia from Matheson Travel coming to you once again from San Francisco on a perfectly lovely evening out on my balcony. And I wanted to talk to you one more time about river cruising, but not this time not about whether river cruising as a touring style is right for you, but which river cruise company you want to choose to go on a river cruise. I know that you've probably all seen a commercial or received even in the mail a brochure from Viking River Cruises, and they are by far the largest participant in the European market. They really developed it, and they've really made river cruising what it is today. They own the most ships, they own the best docking stations, they own a lot of the rivers of Europe. But that's not to say that they're the only choice out there, and in fact they are sort of the base level. I mean, it's definitely a very good product. I know some people that go on Viking all the time and they really like it, but there are some other things I want you to consider when you're looking and comparing different trips. The first thing that you want to look at is the guest to staff ratio, or in other words, the number of people on the boat. All these European river boats are about the same size because they all have to fit through the same locks, and so they all have the same requirements. So the number of people per boat really is going to affect your trip. Because you think about, if there are 190 people on the boat, that's going to be a pretty crowded dining room or lounge versus 120 people on the boat. And that's really sort of the range, as it goes from around 100, 120 to upwards of 200, which Viking does put on. Oh, another thing, if you've got 200 people on the same size boat that there are 100, the cabin sizes are going to be smaller, and I've heard that the walls can be a little thinner in some of those boats that have a lot of people packed on them. So that's one thing. Another thing that would lead to is the service level. There are some really all high-end luxury companies that have butler service for every single cabin. There are some that have multiple tour guides. On Tauk, we had 3 different tour guides for our 120 people. So that's really higher levels of service than you're going to get when your group is split up into, groups of 45 versus 30. That's something else to think of. Okay, so then the other big differentiator between the different lines is what is included. A lot of them call themselves all-inclusive. It is different than ocean cruising in that most of your excursions, or at least one excursion per day, is going to be included in the price. And of course, most of your meals are going to be included. But then it's the alcohol. If you're a person that likes your scotch after dinner, or, likes a pre-dinner drink, and doesn't want to be limited, you might want to be aware, because there are some, like Tauk and Uniworld and Scenic, that everything is included. No matter what you want to drink, morning, noon, or night, you can have it. But that does raise the price a little bit. So then there's some, mid-tier that serve beer and wine with dinner, or serve mimosas with breakfast, but you may have to pay for your scotch after dinner, that kind of thing. So that's something else you want to look at. The third thing that you really want to look at is the excursions and what is included. Like I said, almost every river cruise does include at least one excursion wherever you're stopped for the day, but some of them you have to pay for the excursions. Some of them only have one option per day, and that's really what you do. Some of them have a lot of choice. And then the type of excursions, everybody has a week-long, give or take, cruise down the Seine, but if seeing the Normandy beaches is really important to you, you really want to take a look at how much time you get to spend there and who goes where and that kind of a thing. Another big thing that's starting to differentiate the different river cruises is the style. Not only the style of the boat itself, but also the style of the excursions and the rhythm sort of the trip. Some of the boats are extremely ornate. It is your sort of home away from home, or a floating hotel. So Uniworld in particular has really taken that to heart, and they have these beautiful baccarat crystal chandeliers and very ornate boats. There's some other boats, like Viking on the other end. It's Scandinavian. It's going to be very subtle and very clean and neutral. Scenic seemed like their boats were very sort of neutral, very elegant, but not so opulent, I would say. But also then there are the excursions, like I was saying, the style of excursions. Some river cruise lines really have focused on themes. Ama Waterways is one that not a lot of people know. It's a family-owned company, and they have a lot of their departure dates are going to be themed around either art or beer and wine, and so their excursions for those particular trips are going to be a little bit different. They are also the ones that have partnered not only with Disney for family-friendly cruises next year, so we'll see how those went. They sold out like hotcakes, but they have also partnered with a company called Backroads to do more biking-focused tours. or biking focused river cruises. So your hotel is still the river cruise and you still go to all the great places, but you have a lot more opportunity for doing a lot of biking if you're a bit more adventurous. So those are some of the things that you really want to think about when you're looking for a river cruise, because just like tour companies, just like hotels, one size does not fit all, and one company is not going to be perfect for every single person. So give that a thought. And again, if you want to book a river cruise for summer 2016, you need to get on it because they're going to start selling out pretty quick. So that's it for this week. I'll talk to you next week.